Yo, peace, love, strength, and power, royal family. I know a lot of people are probably wondering, like, why aren't Americans reacting the way the other countries and people in the other countries are reacting to this information? And it might be a little disheartening to you because you figured there'd be some response. There'd be some kind of pushback, some kind of outrage, and it's not happening. Well, not in the way that you think. I want you to think about this, though. We are processing this information. Just because it's quiet, just because it's calm, does not mean that a storm's not brewing. It doesn't mean that there is not stuff working its way to the surface, and it's just a slow boil. It's a slow boil. Consider the facts. Our leaders have now been exposed as being part of some of the most diabolical, devious, evil, and wicked, malicious behavior known to mankind, pertaining to not just people, but our children. And what you're witnessing is the processing of that information, the digestion of that information. We are Americans. We are collectively, right now, allowing those who are in power to do what they are supposed to do. They're supposed to do something. You were elected to these positions. You're getting paid these outrageous amounts of money to be in these positions. And this is now your turn to do your job. This is why you have points in the system. This is why you have branches of government. So what happens when those branches of government, when confronted with the truth, undisputable information now, these facts are written in stone, solid. The people are waiting for you to do your fucking jobs. But that does not last forever. So what happens when the people's patience runs out? When the people who are supposed to do their jobs, the institutions that are supposed to be in place to address these things, this is where your tax dollars go. What happens when they do not respond? What happens when they try to brush it under the rug and pretend it doesn't exist? You think that it leaves the subconscious? You think it leaves the conscience of the people? It doesn't. The reason it's taken so long to become what it's going to become is because we are the most well-armed place on earth. So this patience, it has to be patient. It has to be patient. Because when it doesn't, when that patience runs out, it's a wrap. You think that they're not prepared for something to happen? They're prepared. The information is out there. You think they were building these bunkers for no reason? You think that there was this big this big push to vacate these high positions of power a couple of years ago? They have been planning and preparing for this to happen. One key component they didn't take into consideration is that the spirit also plays a factor in the physical. And right now, spiritually, Black Americans in particular, specifically, are right now listening to our spirit. And our spirit is saying, sit back. And they didn't take that into consideration. They didn't take that into account. Now, not saying that they can't get us out there if they want to get us out there. They can do some heinous shit. They could do something so obviously disrespectful that we have no choice but to respond. But that's not their plan. They need us to willingly come out there, because if not, they'll shift the balance of power. It'd be too obvious for you to paint it as it's a racial issue, and it'll be straight up understanding they need black people to move. You cannot spark this shit off without us. Can't do it. The people who are now in the position to do it, you just watched 2 people lose their life. One unarmed in the car who was a female. There is no alphabet community coming out for her. Where are the alphabet community coming out for her? Why are they not out here in uprising in anger? The other gentleman who lost his life was legally armed and was literally executed on his back by state agents. No response. They lack the spirit, and they lack the ability to tap into what's needed to be tapped into to incite any kind of real rebellion. They don't have the conviction. You don't have the historical conviction to justify your anger. It's not in you. That spirit is not in you. The only time that spirit rises is when it is in opposition to us, and that's why you need black people. You need black people. We have the conviction to stand up and bang out and justly rebel against this system. To justly do it in all righteousness. We understand that we're on the right side of fucking history, and when we bang, we bang. But they didn't consider the spirit telling you to settle. Let everything reveal itself. But trust me, we are watching a slow boil. It's not possible for them to put the genie back in the bottle. What has been exposed has to be accounted for. It has to be. Now, which form it's going to take without our presence, we'll see. But without our presence, it is definitely not, is on hold without our presence. So it's bubbling, but it's not going to pop like we pop. So I don't know how it's going to play out, but do not be disheartened and not thinking that there's going to be consequences and repercussions for what was exposed to be true. Like I said, you're allowing the system to do what the system is supposed to do. But when that patience runs out, there is not going to be anybody on any side of any aisle in the political landscape to say that we didn't have a chance to do our damn jobs. So there's not going to be any mercy. It's not going to be any motherfucking copping the pleas and plea bargaining. Because the time that you had to do your fucking jobs, you didn't do it. And once the people are fed up and they are done, it's going to be a wrap. And there's nothing you can do about it. Prepare. But yeah, don't think America is asleep. There's history that shows that one thing we are not is nonviolent in this country. Trying to figure out how to deal with this is something new for the Caucasian. This is the first time they've been on this side of history where they have to justify their rage, and it's not race-based. And they're struggling right now. But us, black people, continue to stand down. Listen to your spirit, yo. Your spirit is there for a reason. It is tapping you on your shoulder. It is settling your spirit for a reason. There is nothing we can do right now. Everything has to play out the way it plays out. And when the time comes, you will be guided. Because we do have a connection to the Most High. We have a connection to that spiritual force. That is what they envy, and that is what they hate about us. So when that time comes, we'll bang. We got a history of unifying and solidifying when it's time. It's not that time. But don't sleep. Don't think that just because you don't see shit that it ain't motherfucking storm. There's a storm coming. You better grab your goddamn raincoats. Y'all stay up, though. Peace, love, strength, the power of our family. One.